And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, folks? Happy Sunday. If you're listening to this in the car tomorrow morning, happy Monday. Hope y'all enjoy your day. Get started on the right foot first thing this week, because you already know what I'm going to say. If you don't win Monday, then you can't win the whole week. So go ahead, start it off right now. But yeah, last week, we talked about Parkinson's Law. So if you haven't yet listened to that, go back and listen to that episode first, because today's going to kind of build on that episode a little bit. But while we're on kind of the law things, today I decided we're going to talk about none other than Murphy's Law. So I know that's kind of ironic because my name is Murphy. And unfortunately, this law is kind of negative in a sense, which it kind of sucks because my name is on it. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not the one that created this law. And honestly, it is kind of true, but we're going to get into what that law is. We're going to talk about what is Murphy's Law first off. We'll talk about why it matters. And we talk about some ways of how you can handle it. But just like last week when we talked about Parkinson's Law, how it not only applies to your fitness journey, but it also applies to pretty much every area of your life. Well, the same is going to go for Murphy's Law. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way things happen and how it is. But yeah, it's going to apply to pretty much every aspect of your life. So yeah, what is Murphy's Law? Y'all have probably heard of that saying that goes like this: anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You've probably heard that before. Well, that's pretty much Murphy's Law in a nutshell. It's all about how things can sometimes go wrong when we least expect it. So this law is named after a guy named Edward Murphy, and he worked in the U.S. Air Force. So he noticed that if something could go wrong, it usually did, and at the worst time possible. So that's kind of Murphy's Law. And you're probably thinking, why are we talking about this? Like, why do we want to talk about things going wrong? Well, we're going to talk about it because things are going to go wrong in your fitness journey. 100% it's going to happen in your fitness journey, and you got to be able to bounce back from it. You got to be able to recover from it. You got to be able to change paths. You got to be flexible. So it's going to happen eventually. That's just life. That's how life works. So you got to understand the law so you can kind of use it to your advantage, use it to learn from, grow from, and learn how to overcome these things whenever they're thrown at you. So how does Murphy's Law show up in fitness? I mean, there's several ways it can show up, but I mean, just a quick example would be skipping your workouts and stuff. So if you ever had a plan to go to the gym, like say for example, you're gonna go to the gym and you get off work, but something comes up during the day that changes that plan, and now you can't go. So that's Murphy's Law. If you gave an opportunity for something to go wrong and it went wrong, that's why I always say you should go in the morning. You need to go work out in the morning before work. That way, nothing can get in the way. Nothing can stop that, change that you went and you already got it done and you knocked it out. But yeah, for example, or say you forgot your clothes at home or something, or your car doesn't start, or something to that effect. Something's going to stop you from going to the gym. So that's kind of how, I mean, Murphy's Law shows up so many ways. We can't even sit here and talk about all of them, but I don't know. Maybe you had plans to eat a certain thing at a restaurant that you're going to go to. You had a nice healthy meal picked out, and then when you got there, you saw something else on the menu that stuck out to you, so you changed your mind. You got something different. Or you had plans to go to a certain restaurant, and then that restaurant was closed, or people changed their mind. They didn't want to go to that restaurant, and you had to go to a different restaurant. So it just throws a wrench in your plans. So there's so many different ways that it can affect your fitness journey for the worse. But that's not going to stop you because you're much stronger than that. I know you are. You're going to pivot, and you're going to overcome that law. Another big thing that happens in your fitness journey is injuries. Injuries happen pretty often, especially if you're not practicing proper technique and you're not doing things how they're supposed to be done. So you're always going to have an injury pop up at the worst time. Whenever you start to see some really good progress, whenever you're really starting to get strong, or you're really starting to lose some weight, or you're really starting to achieve whatever goal that is you're trying to achieve, boom, you roll your ankle, you hurt your knee, you tear a muscle, something like that. You're going to have an injury. I mean, it's just going to happen. When you work out, you're tearing your body down. tearing it down over time, eventually it's going to lead to an injury. I mean, yes, we can prevent these as much as possible by doing a proper warm up, doing a proper cool down, stretching, using proper technique, learning the right technique without a lot of weight, and then adding as we go, using proper progressive overload, not just throwing a bunch of weight on the bar that you probably shouldn't be doing. And then also another workout thing that could happen is bad weather. So if you're trying to do a run outside, trying to go running outside, well, guess what? As soon as you lace up your shoes to go running, guess what's going to happen? It's going to start raining. It's going to be a thunderstorm outside. Something's going to go wrong. Like whenever you had that thing planned, something's going to happen. And it's going to throw a wrench in that. So that's just some ways that it can happen in fitness. But some other areas of, some ways that Murphy's Law can affect you in other areas of your life is it can affect you at school, it can affect you at work. This is a big one, vacation. Like when you have travel plans, you already know when you're getting ready to leave on that plane, boom, thunderstorm comes through, and now your plane's delayed for 6 hours or whatever. That's always going to be something terrible that happens, unfortunately. You could be preparing for a big exam at school or something, and then boom, you get sick, can't go to school and take it, or power goes out or something. I don't know, something crazy like that. It just happens. Murphy's Law happens in everyday life. Even like small things like cooking dinner. You could be cooking dinner and burn your food or something. Something could go wrong. You might spill something, spill your drink, spill it on your clothes, do something like that, burn your food. Little things can always go wrong. And they probably will. That's just life. I always like to use that slogan. That's life. Like, honestly, just laugh it off sometimes because things are going to go wrong. And then sometimes things are going to go right. So just be prepared for it. So why does Murphy's Law matter? Well, it can teach us to be flexible and prepared for the unexpected. So that's important. You got to be flexible. You got to be able to pivot and change things up as you go. So in fitness, it helps us plan ahead. So like packing extra clothes or having a backup workout in case you wanted to go run outside, or maybe you have a backup workout where you can work out inside. You can do a weightlifting session inside, or you can do, say your gym is outside. Maybe y'all do work out outside and then you can go inside. I don't know. Have a backup plan of what you can do. Take extra clothes, work out in the morning instead of going in the afternoon. You got to be able to pivot. And then in life, it just reminds us to stay calm and roll with the punches when things don't go your way, because nobody's perfect. Not everything's going to go right for you every time. So you just got to stay calm and know that things can go wrong and things probably will go wrong at some point. Just understand that, so that way you don't get angry, you don't get upset, you don't get frustrated. Hey, this happened. Now what can I do to overcome that? What can I do to pivot, to change, to get it done regardless, no matter what happens? So how can you handle Murphy's Law? Well, number one, first and foremost, we kind of just hit on that, is just stay positive. So remember that things go wrong for everybody, not just you. You're not the only one that things go wrong for. It happens to everybody. You got to find a way to stay positive. And when you kind of expect these things to happen, it's a little bit easier to react. You don't get so upset or frustrated or angry. If you had plans to do something or you've been working towards something, and then boom, something happens and you can't do that thing, or something to that effect, like that can really take a toll on people and really do some damage. But you just got to find a way to stay positive and know that you're not the only one that things are going wrong for. It's happening to other people too. So don't think the devil is out to get you or something. Everybody has these obstacles they have to overcome. So number two, what can you do after you stay positive? Well, you got to have a backup plan. You got to be able to pivot, to be flexible, to adjust. So for example, like the running example, if you were going to run outside, you got to have a backup plan. What am I going to do if it starts raining outside? Well, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to run on the treadmill, or I'm going to go get a workout in, or I'm going to do some recovery. I'm going to do some stretching, something. You got to have a backup plan. This goes for everything. Say you have, I don't know, you got something at work going on that you're planning for. Well, if that doesn't happen, or if you don't get that raise, well, you need to have a backup plan of what you're going to do to get that raise next time, or what you're going to do to better prepare for that exam if you're in school, or better prepare for your presentation that you have to give. And then next, sometimes you just got to laugh it off. Sometimes some of these things are pretty comical of how things just go wrong at the absolute worst possible times. So you got to just learn how to laugh it off, how weird things can get sometimes. Just don't be so serious. Don't take it so serious. I mean, you only get one life. Live it to the fullest. Don't take everything so serious. I mean, yes, some things are serious. It depends on obviously what you're talking about, but sometimes just laugh it off. Just like, hey, the worst possible thing that could have went wrong went wrong. So if that happens, I mean, you can't be too mad about it. You just gotta laugh it off sometimes and be okay with it. That's part of the staying positive part of it. If you can laugh it off, you can probably stay positive, and this helps you better react. Like, you don't want to show your emotions. Like, you don't want to get super angry or ticked off or something like that, because that's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you at all in getting that thing done. So just laugh it off, move on, and learn from it. That's the next step. Number 4, learn from it. So every time something goes wrong, you can learn and you can be more prepared for the next time, which is this. That's a great point. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. For example, if you were going running and you brought running clothes, but then it started raining, you don't have any workout clothes to go to the gym. Well, next time you probably gonna pack some extra clothes to go to the gym. Or if you, I'm trying to think of an example. If you were going to a certain restaurant and you had something picked out, but then last minute restaurant gets changed, have a healthy option that you can eat at pretty much every restaurant. Say, for example, like a salad or some grilled chicken or something. You always have a backup plan. Or take some food with you. Learn from it. Take some food with you. That's what I do at work. I take my lunch with me because I'm preparing for the worst. Say, for example, if we don't go get lunch that day or something, I got a backup plan. I got some healthy food I can eat. So yeah, just learn from things that could go wrong. Learn from your mistakes, obviously, and that way you're better prepared for the next time. So yeah, that's pretty much Murphy's Law in a nutshell. There's not too much to it. I mean, it can be pretty annoying. I mean, Murphy's Law is definitely annoying when it happens because it's true. It's going to happen. But it also teaches us to be resilient and teaches us to be adaptable. So next time something goes wrong, just remember, it happens to everyone. You're not the only one. Don't think somebody has a target on you or on your back. It's going to happen at some point, but you got to be ready and prepared to adjust, to be flexible, and to shift. So that's all I got for y'all. If you hadn't yet, go watch last week's episode about Parkinson's Law. And maybe next week we'll continue this. I don't know. We'll see if I can come up with another scientific law or something to correlate with fitness in some way. If you have one, let me know. Send me a DM on social media, wherever, Murphy Mac Fit, pretty much all social medias. Let me know if you got a good law that we can talk about that correlates with fitness, and we'll do it on the podcast. But yeah, other than that, y'all have a great week. Y'all stay working on your fitness goals. I already know the deal. We're almost coming to the end of the year. So if you hadn't accomplished those goals yet, you better get to it because the end of the year is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.